we'll start now. This is a really informal informational meeting. We'll kind of be going over the basic general information that you'll need to know to run as a candidate. And if you have any questions, at the end we'll have a Q&A session as well. So to start off, this is the council pretty much right here. This year we have a new council structure. So I'm Jenny Chen, I'm the Elections Council Chair.
Hi, my name is Natalia Commissioner, and I'm the Attorney General.
I'm Olivia Cusmano, I'm the Elections Prosecutor.
Hi, I'm Tina Elena, the Chief Auditor.
Hi, I'm Shoji Banerjee, and I'm the Public Defender.
And I'm Heidi King, the Chief Accountability Officer.
In addition, we also have another member of the council. It's the ASUC Secretariat as well. So the role of the Elections Council is mainly in three branches. We have the Operations branch, which my team works mainly on. We also have the Regulations, which Natalia, Olivia, and Shujit work on. And then there's also the Audit part, which Tina and her finance team works on as well. And our role is to aid candidates through the campaigning process and to work with all parties and make sure that there's fair and equal opportunities for everyone. We also respond and investigate to any violation complaints, and we apply temporary rules. We also collaborate and decide on all matters surrounding elections process. So as a council, we have open meetings, typically like bi-weekly, and so the next foreseeable one we'll have is the weekend of March 14th, and so everyone is welcome to come to that meeting as well. And we usually post notices of those on our website, www.elections.asuc.org, so they'll be noticed there. If we have an upcoming meeting in the agenda, we'll be there as well. So Heidi will start off first.
Okay, so the Chief Accountability Office is an office that used to be known as the Controller General Office. We changed just to be more consistent with one another, but all the chiefs now have the same structure in terms of their name. My office is in charge of maintaining transparency and accountability throughout the association. So one of my duties includes collecting reports from elected officials, appointed officials, and senators. I'm also in charge of like Senate management, so making sure that senators are going to the required meetings and informing them of any absences they have. And also this year I'm heavily involved in elections, which is a change from last year. And so my office will seek out any violations that occur, the ASUC is the largest, most autonomous student organization in the nation. It's a non-profit, and it's the student government, so it consists of the executive, the judicial, and the legislative. There are 5 executives, 20 senators, and a judicial council. Provides many campus-wide services and funds a lot of student groups. Organizes, and then advocates for the student body.
And there are a number of appointed officials as well, which is what we are. Yeah, we're appointed by Senate and sometimes other elected officials.
Oh, do you want to give my contact?
Yeah, so if anybody wants to contact Heidi,
You can just email me at accountability@asuc.org.
So like I said earlier, I'm Jenny, I'm the Elections Council Chair, and as Council Chair, I am head of the Council. I'm also head of the Elections Operations section, and what we work with is overseeing the filing process, also managing elections publicity, which we have a publicity coordinator to work with, and also polling and logistical planning. And The assistant chair is not here today, but she helps me and also manages the filing process, and her name is Grayson Dimmick. You can email her at electionsassistant@asuc.org. So she is typically in charge with dealing with candidates a lot. So if you become a candidate, you'll be seeing emails from her. We also have a poll coordinator, and that's Chelsea Seckman. You can contact her at electionspolling@asuc.org. And she works with managing the physical polling locations, also making sure that our ballot is ready to go for elections. We also have a publicity coordinator, Jenny Wong, who's right there, and she works with making sure that we have good designs and that we have a really good elections info voter guide so that it can provide lots of really important resource and information for voters. So how to run. So all candidates must fill out a candidate filing form. In this form, you can find it on our website, and you will have to submit it during the filing period, which starts Monday, March 2nd, which is next Monday at 9 a.m. And the last day where you can file is March 13th, Friday at 5 p.m. And keep in mind that just submitting this form online, it does not suffice. You will also have to pay a fee of $5 per office that you're running for in order to become an official candidate. So you should probably plan to fill the form earlier on, that way you have time to print out the form and take it to the lead center along with the fee, however much it is. So you can also run as either an independent candidate or with a party. And if you plan on running with a party, the party must, if not registered, be registered, which they can also find the form on the website. And they also must fill out a party endorsement and filing form, which includes a list of slots where the party can file all the candidates that they plan on running. And contrary to prior years, these two forms are actually due during the filing period as well. So it's not due mandatory candidates meeting. These are due Friday, March 13th, 5 p.m. as well. And the party endorsement and filing fee kind of has a similar structure in terms of payment with the candidate's filing form. Party signatories must be the one who files this form, and they will have to file it online first, then print out the submission, take it to the lead center along with the $20 party filing form fee. Oh, and also another point to mention is that these forms must be filled out online by the candidate themselves or the party signatory themselves. So party signatory can't fill out multiple forms for all the candidates that the party is planning on running. The next part is that after filing, all the candidates and party signatories have to attend the mandatory elections candidates meeting, and this is March 17th. It's going to be 7:30 p.m. at 2040 BLSB. And this is a really informational meeting that we really get to go into detail, and Natalia's team will be able to present all the bylaws and details, and there will be a conversation where people can ask questions. So it's really important. It's really helpful, and it's mandatory as well. We usually do roll call in the middle of the meeting, at the beginning of the meeting, possibly at the end as well this year, and this is to ensure that nobody leaves, everyone is attentive during the meeting. And if you have to leave, then you have to let us know and that you're going to the bathroom, even if it's just for a short period, so that we are able to track your attendance. So other than this mandatory meeting, you also will need to submit a voter guide info form, and this is your information that will be going into the elections info guide or the voter guide. And this is actually due the day following the mandatory meeting, so March 18th and Wednesday, and it's due at 5 p.m. Reason being that we're publishing the info guide very soon after it comes out online on the 30th, and this is also the window where spring break is. So we require that it's submitted March 18th, and really it's pretty simple. I think the next slide will show okay, so you can find the form online, it's already there. It's pretty simple. All you need to do is put in your name, put in your ballot number, and you won't get this ballot number until the candidates meeting, which is why we put it the day after, and then also a 100-word candidate statement, and that's pretty short. So you also attach a 1x1 black and white photo and send this to ASUCinfoguide@gmail.com in order to having submitted this. And you'll get a confirmation 24 hours after sending in this from the publicity coordinator, and that will let you know that they have received it. So other than that, after filing, if you start campaigning, you have to make sure that you submit any of the campaign expenditures to the elections auditor, and they'll go into a little bit more detail about that later. So for all the forms and information, you can visit www.elections.asuc.org for more information. So voting wise, polls open 12 a.m. on Tuesday, April 7th, and concludes 11:59 Thursday, April 9th. And it's all done online on http://elections.asuc.org. And students can vote on their computers, cell phones, or at the physical polling locations. And there's 3 this year. It's going to be Dwinell, Krover, and Northgate, and they will open 9 a.m. and close at 4 p.m. And all students that are registered and graduate students can vote. So this is just some more information about voter guide. The details are really clearly listed on the form itself, so you can read that there as well. And that's actually the copy of the form, yeah. So Attorney General will talk to you.
So, again, my name is Natalia, and I am the ASUC legal counsel, and my job is to ensure that our rules, regulations, and procedures that are passed by Senate and are stated in the Constitution and bylaws are followed. I investigate violations, and I represent the ASUC in judicial council suit when there are parties. So that means that whenever there's elections violations, I myself or Olivia can take on that job, and we can prosecute anyone who breaks anything that's that goes against the bylaws, and the Constitution. If you want to reach me, you can email attorneygeneral@asuc.org.
Hi everyone, again, I'm Olivia. I am the elections prosecutor. My role is fairly similar to Natalia's, but kind of minus the oversight part. So I, for the most part, am going to be seeking out and prosecuting elections violations. This sounds like sort of scary, but I don't mean it to be. It's just to ensure that the election is fair for every candidate and uphold the rules of the ASUC that past Senate classes have passed. So I am looking forward to tracking all of you candidates. Otherwise, you can reach me at prosecutor@asuc.org if you have any questions or anything else.
Hi guys, good evening again. My name is Shojit, and I'm the public defender. So my primary role is to represent any individual or organization who is brought forward by Judicial Council, primarily for election bylaw violations. So you can reach me at publicdefender@asuc.org, and during election season, prior to the commencement of any trial, your candidate will have the opportunity to work with me and obtain my services. So yeah, they'll be notified of the opportunity to work with me during the trial.
So we wanted to highlight a couple of things for you, and this has to do with rules. So the first thing that a candidate should do is actually take a look at the elections rules, and they can be found at www.elections@asuc.org or on asuc.org/central drive. Go under governing documents, and then go under subsection 4000 ASUC elections. So all candidates must attend the mandatory candidates meeting, which is on March 17th. It starts at 7:30 p.m. In 2040 VLSB. Please pay attention to point of no return. This is a 15-minute break that you will be given in the middle of the formal candidates meeting, and if you leave, you will not be able to run. We will be really strict about this. Unless there's some written notice in terms of medical or that is given to us beforehand.
Yeah, this is an important point to go back on. So on the filing forms, we state that this meeting is mandatory, and if you have a conflict, you will have to let us know beforehand. You will have to let us know at least 48 hours before the candidates meeting if you have a valid excuse that you aren't able to attend.
And after that point, the ballot numbers will be drawn. If you leave your,
Well,
there's a
yeah.
point where you're actually, if you leave, you can still be on the ballot, or if you withdraw, you will still be on the ballot. And that may be bad for you, because if you get, by chance, elected in.
Yeah, so the point of no return is basically the last point in which you can drop out of election and make changes to your ballot name. And it's also right after this point that we do roll call again, and based on the roll call, who is present and who isn't, is how we draw ballot numbers for you. So if you are not there during roll call, there will be no number for you and you won't be running.
Anyone who's running for an exec position must attend the Leadership Institute, and this is usually something that's put on by the EVP, and usually it's held either fall or spring per constitution, and the date will be determined by the executive vice president. And then one other thing that you must do is, as a candidate, is to attend the candidates cleanup day, which is on March 11th. April, sorry, or 11th.
It's the Saturday of elections week when it ends.
Okay. Violations. So some of the things that you really need to pay attention to is, for example, tampering with ballots or interfering with voting. We will disqualify you for this. This is extremely important. Don't do it. Academic violations, falsifying information are equally, they will also disqualify you for these types of violations. Campaigning via the ASUC or advertising in like ASUC publications or use ASUC space. Please don't do that. Please don't talk. If you are in Hearst Gym or close to any ASUC organizations, please don't talk about your elections or your candidacy, because this is a violation, and this is something that other people may send to us, and we will have to take it to judicial council suit. Another thing is to keep in mind is to campaign within 100 feet of the polls. Please, they will be marked off, but don't go over them and have your sign, because somebody will snap that picture and we'll get it and we'll take it to judicial council. This year we are following the bylaws. We're not being, last year they gave a lot of leeway in terms of we're following the bylaws, and whatever, our interpretation is going to be exactly what it says in the bylaws, basically. And then we also want to make sure that we point out that we have, this is very new, we have three tiers of violations. So, tier 1 violations are violations that give you 2 to 3 censures. You just have to make sure to keep 2 to 3 censures. Just make sure, because those, you can get up to 5 censures, and if you get 5 censures, you will be disqualified. And then we have tier 2 violations.
Tier 2 violations primarily look a lot like sort of structural violations. So basically a tier 2 violation is sort of
1 to 2.
Oh yeah, first of all, 1 to 2 censures, and they have to do with messing with campaign material or basically, so and using, so you can't what we kind of want to bring up is that you can't campaign within 20 feet of someone who's voting. So this obviously you can't campaign within 100 feet of the polls, so for physical polling locations, that is kind of a little more obvious. But for people voting on computers or their phones, try to be careful, since the bylaws do state that this includes voting from unsupervised polling locations. So we don't want to catch you, or we don't basically want to see a case where like someone was on a computer and you walked up to them and said, you must vote for me. That is an absolute violation.
Yeah, because you should not try to sway them to vote for you when they were initially going to vote for someone else, right? They, like, basically because they talked to you and they liked you, they are going to change their vote. We don't think that that's fair to other people, and don't do it, basically. Another thing is like posting campaign signs, posters, or other literature or campaign material within 100 feet of the polling spaces when polls are open. That's also a tier 2 violation.
Yeah, and then like the final tier of violations is tier 3 violations, and the maximum amount of censors you can get for that is 1. So it is like the least severe level, but you obviously can get censors for it. I'd say a good example of a tier 3 violation is filing bad faith or frivolous charges against another candidate, so which is obviously disallowed. So yeah, that is an example of a tier 3 violations. But like Natalia mentioned earlier, really go over the bylaws. They're online on our website, and make sure you have a good understanding of them.
Yes. And then so we're going to continue. So rest halls violation. Please don't go and campaign in the rest halls or dining commons. We don't like that, and we actually most of us go and like eat there, and we take pictures. We will videotape you, and we will take you to judicial councils. I mean, we have teams that work with us, so you might know our faces, but you might not know our staff's faces. So there are going to be people who are going to be in those areas, and they're going to be looking for candidates, all of your staff, and any campaigning that occurs in those areas should not. We will take it to judicial councils. So please do not destroy or remove any ASUC materials. We already mentioned the email, no, the Air Bears 20 feet rule. Like we mentioned those as well. Email rules, please don't. If you don't have a previous connection to someone, please don't email them and say vote for me. That's and follow the endorsement guidelines that are listed in the ASUC bylaws.
So wait, really quickly, we like strongly advise that you read all of the 4,000 bylaws, but all of these violations, which I think the candidates should absolutely really have, if not written on the back of their hand, they're that knowledgeable of them. They can be found in 4203 is the specific section,
and also 4205, which is the enforcement mechanism, and take a look at that and what the different violations may result in, 1-tier censure, 2-tier censures, or disqualifying censures. They're listed there. Take a look at the campaigning section, especially. And if you want to, just a question, did we sort out the elections violations?
Today, I don't think it was set up yet, but if you have any questions about this, or if you think that you might have seen somebody violating a rule, then you can, as of now, send it to electionscouncil@asc.org.
And if you have any questions for us and how we interpret the bylaws and look at them, please email either attorneygeneral@asc.org or the prosecutor@asc.org. And I also want to highlight one last point is that whenever we receive a violation, it will go to the entire council. So we will actually have to sit and vote on an issue. Because these meetings are open, you're welcome to come in and see what the process is like and what we will do when a violation occurs. And if you are you're the Trojan board who is violating something, you're able to speak at those meetings. However, please keep in mind that we are looking at the bylaws, and like after that point, we will send it to judicial council. And this is very new because last year the Attorney General did, determine whether or not to take a case to judicial council. I also want to make sure to tell you that even if I don't, let's say that the council does not decide that we want to send something to judicial council, anyone like a student may be able to send it to judicial council, and it may still, there may still be a case with them.
Hi, again, I'm Tina, and I'm the chief auditor, and my actual whole entire team is here, so they could introduce themselves briefly. So.
Hi, I'm Eileen.
Hey, I'm Charles.
Hi, I'm Yvonne.
Yeah. So, as elections auditors, we regulate the expenditures of all parties and candidates and make sure campaign finance bylaws are followed. And as a team, our goal is to make sure ASUC elections are fair and transparent to the public. So candidates running for Senate have a spending limit of $200, and candidates running for executive position have a spending limit of $1,000, and all parties have a spending limit of $2,625. All parties and candidates have to submit a campaign expenditure form with a receipt and a copy of one campaign material to the lead center within 24 hours of dissemination. In addition, every registered party needs to submit a form of sources of funding with supporting document. That 24-hour dissemination rule will be strictly enforced, so keep that in mind. And we will start tracking expenditures starting March 2nd when the filing period begins.
So that pretty much concludes all our presentation portion.